Malik, a 15-year-old black boy, lived in a poor neighborhood on the outskirts of the city. In his neighborhood, dreams seemed non-existent. Life for the residents revolved around hard labor, with money always a constant worry. Yet, Malik carried a hope within him, a hope that one day, he would find a way to change his life and the lives of those around him. On a sweltering summer evening, as the sun dipped behind the distant hills, Malik was cycling home after a long day at a small mechanic shop where he worked. His old, creaky bicycle squeaked with every hard push of the pedals. But Malik didn't mind. It was a bike his mother had worked hard to buy from a second-hand market. And to him, it was a treasure. The route home took Malik through a deserted stretch of road, devoid of houses or streetlights. The wind rustled through the tall grass on either side, creating eerie sounds that occasionally unsettled him. But that night, something unusual made him stop. A few hundred meters ahead, a luxury car was parked on the side of the road, its hazard lights blinking in the darkness. A middle-aged man in an expensive suit was pacing nervously next to the car. From his confused demeanor and anxious glances, Malik guessed the man was in serious trouble. Malik pedaled closer and gently called out, "Can I help you, sir?" The man, David Anderson, looked up. He gazed at the boy in front of him, his expression a mix of surprise and skepticism. Deep down, he doubted that a boy in simple clothes riding a rickety bike could be of any assistance. "Do you know how to change a tire?" David asked, his tone hesitant. Malik nodded confidently. He had learned the skill while working at the mechanic shop. Without waiting for further instructions, he crouched down to inspect the car. One of the tires was completely flat. "I can change it for you, sir. Just hand me the tools," Malik said firmly. David retrieved the toolkit from the trunk, and Malik quickly got to work. His hands moved deftly, removing the damaged tire and replacing it with the spare. As he worked, he made conversation to ease the man's tension. "Where are you coming from? This road is pretty deserted. Weren't you worried about traveling alone?" David chuckled dryly. "I just left a meeting in the city. I didn't expect my car to break down out here." In less than 20 minutes, Malik was finished. Standing up, he dusted off his hands and smiled at David. "All done, sir. You're good to go." David reached for his wallet, intending to pay Malik, but the boy shook his head firmly. "I didn't do it for the money, sir. Helping people is its own reward." David was taken aback, but before he could say anything further, Malik hopped onto his bike and pedaled away, his figure disappearing into the night. David Anderson sat back in his car, lost in thought. As one of the world's leading billionaires, he had encountered countless people, but the boy he had just met was truly different. In David's world, where everything revolved around money, the unconditional kindness shown by Malik was a rare and extraordinary thing. The car rolled along the deserted road, but David's mind remained fixated on the boy. The encounter had stirred something unfamiliar within him, a warmth he hadn't felt in a long time. When he arrived at his mansion, David stepped into the expansive living room, where the light from a crystal chandelier danced off the intricately decorated walls. He sank into the plush sofa, staring at the glass of red wine set before him. "Who is that boy?" David wondered aloud. How could he refuse money without a moment's hesitation? The thought lingered in David's mind throughout the night. He realized he needed to do something to repay the boy's kindness. The next morning, Malik woke up early. His small house, with its rusty tin roof and walls faded by time, was a humble sanctuary. His mother, Angela, was preparing a simple breakfast of bread and milk. "Malik, eat up. You have to leave for work early today," she said, her voice filled with love. "Yes, Mom. I'll be back early to help you," Malik replied, his usual bright smile lighting up his face. Despite their struggles, Malik never complained. He worked hard and was eager to learn, always doing his best to support his mother. He knew how much she had sacrificed to raise him. The neighborhood Malik lived in was full of challenges. Narrow streets littered with trash and the constant presence of troublemaking gangs painted a grim picture. But Malik kept his distance from such temptations. He believed that hard work and kindness were the only paths to overcoming adversity. In stark contrast to Malik's life, David Anderson lived in a world of luxury and power. His mansion perched atop a hill, complete with a pool, golf course, and a team of staff available 24/7. Yet, despite having everything, David felt an emptiness he couldn't ignore. During a company meeting the next morning, David struggled to focus. His mind kept drifting back to the image of the boy who had helped him on that desolate road. After the meeting, he called his assistant and asked them to find out more about the boy. David knew he couldn't lose touch with someone who had reignited his faith in humanity. This isn't just about gratitude, David thought. This is an opportunity to do something truly meaningful. David Anderson couldn't shake the image of the boy from his mind. After instructing his assistant and team to gather information about Malik, he began planning his approach. He didn't just want to thank the boy. He wanted to change the life of this kind-hearted teenager. A team of private investigators and local police was mobilized to search based on David's description. A boy around 15 years old, small in stature, black, dressed simply, and riding an old bicycle. The description seemed vague. But David was confident that Malik's actions would make him stand out. Meanwhile, in the impoverished neighborhood, Malik had no idea his life was about to change. After a day's work at the mechanic shop, he rode his bike through the streets, greeting familiar neighbors. He stopped to help an elderly woman carry her heavy bags, flashing his radiant smile. To him, it was just another ordinary day. That afternoon, however, police officers arrived in the area to ask questions. Residents were surprised to see police cars and a sleek black limousine parked on their pothole-filled street. Some began to recall Malik, recognizing him for his helpfulness and enthusiasm. "Oh, it must be Malik, the boy who's always helping people," a shopkeeper said. The search team quickly traced Malik to the small house where he lived with his mother. They arrived with questions and a sense of awe at the boy's reputation. The next morning, Malik woke up to strange sounds outside his house. He pulled back the curtain and was met with an unbelievable sight: a luxurious limousine, police cars, and a group of well-dressed people standing at his front door. "Mom, what's going on?" Malik called out in alarm. Angela stepped out of her room, her face showing clear confusion. She had just woken up and had no idea what was happening. Before she could say anything, there was a knock at the door. David Anderson stepped inside, his face a mix of friendliness and seriousness. He bowed his head slightly in greeting to Angela and Malik before speaking. "Hello, Malik. Do you remember me?" Malik froze for a moment, then recalled the man he had helped change a tire the night before. You're the man from yesterday," he stammered. David smiled warmly. "That's right. I'm here not just to thank you but to do something meaningful for you and your family." Both Malik and Angela were taken aback. Before they could protest, David continued, "Your kindness changed the way I see life. Your actions made me realize that even the smallest acts of goodness can have a profound impact. I want to help you and your mother have a better life." David sat down to talk with Angela and Malik. He shared his story, a successful billionaire who often felt an inexplicable emptiness. Malik listened intently, his eyes filled with curiosity. He couldn't imagine how someone who had everything others dreamed of could still feel lonely. David looked at Malik and said, "I want to cover all your education expenses. You'll attend one of the best schools in the city, where you can develop your talents and pursue your dreams." Malik was stunned and turned to look at his mother. Angela was silent for a few moments before she finally spoke. "We're deeply grateful for your generosity, but I don't want us to be pitied." David shook his head and interrupted. "This isn't pity, it's gratitude. I had lost faith in human kindness, and your son helped me find it again. Please, let me help him, just as he helped me." Angela thought about it for a long time before finally agreeing. However, she set a condition. Malik must always remember where he came from and never forget the lessons of kindness. Malik promised his mother, his eyes sparkling with hope. On his first day at the new school, Malik felt overwhelmed. The school was much larger than anything he had ever imagined. The walls were brightly painted. The campus was expansive with greenery, and the buildings were sleek and modern. The students were well-dressed, spoke with confidence, and seemed to come from wealthy families. Malik entered his classroom feeling both excited and nervous. He could feel the curious gazes of his classmates as they noticed him. Some whispered, others giggled. Malik tried to ignore them and focused on the lesson. But even on his first day, he faced challenges. A group of wealthy students, led by a boy named Ethan, mocked him for his humble background. Does he think he's going to make it just because some rich guy decided to help him? Ethan said loudly enough for the whole class to hear. Malik felt hurt, but he remembered his mother's advice. Don't let negative words make you forget your goals. He smiled and quietly continued with the lesson. David, who kept close tabs on Malik's progress, noticed the challenges he was facing. He often called Malik to encourage him. Don't let anyone make you doubt yourself. Malik, you're special, and you're capable of doing great things. Malik began finding ways to adapt. He spent extra time studying, asking his teachers questions about anything he didn't understand, and gradually proving his abilities. He also joined the school's engineering club, where he could explore his passion for mechanics. Malik's efforts not only helped him stay strong but also gradually earned him the respect of those around him. Though his journey was just beginning, Malik knew the doors to his future were opening wide. Life at the new school was far from easy for Malik. Each day presented a challenge, not just from the amount of new knowledge he had to absorb, but also from the scrutinizing looks and cold attitudes of some of his classmates. Despite this, Malik never let the difficulties discourage him. He understood that this opportunity was a rare gift, and he was determined not to waste it. One afternoon after school, Malik went to the library to find additional materials for his engineering project. As he was engrossed in his reading, Ethan, the boy who often mocked him, approached with his group of friends. Trying to become a genius or something? Ethan sneered. Malik looked up, calm and composed, and replied, I'm not trying to be a genius. I'm just learning so I can have a better future. Malik's response caught Ethan off guard for a moment, but he quickly scoffed and walked away. Malik realized that not everyone would be willing to change their opinion of him. Instead of feeling disheartened, he used their mockery as motivation to work even harder. Over time, Malik began to prove his abilities. He scored high marks on tests and impressed teachers with his diligence and intelligence. One teacher, Mr. Graham, took special notice of Malik and often spent extra time mentoring him. Malik, you have great potential. Don't let anyone make you lose confidence, Mr. Graham said. Those words of encouragement gave Malik the strength to keep going. He started participating in school clubs and science competitions, where he had the chance to showcase his passion for technology and mechanics. Malik began nurturing a big dream: to become a technology engineer. He wanted to invent products that could help people like his mother and others in the neighborhood where he grew up. For Malik, this dream wasn't just a career, it was a way to give back for all he had received. One day, David visited Malik at school. He took him out for lunch at a small cafe nearby. Throughout the meal, David listened as Malik shared the challenges he faced at school. But his eyes lit up with excitement when he talked about his dream. I want to create affordable water filters so poor communities can access clean water. I also want to invent devices that help families save electricity, especially for those who can't afford high bills. Malik said enthusiastically. David smiled, proud of the boy he had met on that desolate road. Malik, your dreams are truly meaningful. I'll do everything I can to help you achieve them. Malik thanked David but firmly stated that he wanted to stand on his own feet. I want to prove that kindness can create strength. I'll work hard to make the most of this opportunity, he said. Malik's academic success and the small achievements he accumulated began to draw attention. He not only changed the perceptions of his teachers but also gradually shifted the way his classmates viewed him. Some of the students who had mocked him started to respect him and even sought his help. Ethan, who had once been Malik's biggest adversary, approached him one day with a completely different attitude. "Malik, could you help me with this engineering assignment? I don't really understand this part," Ethan said, looking embarrassed. Malik looked at him for a few seconds before smiling. "Of course, let's work on it together." From that moment, the relationship between Malik and Ethan changed. They gradually became friends, and Ethan admitted he had been wrong to judge Malik based on his background. In addition, Malik began participating in community activities at school. He organized fundraising events to support students in need and constantly looked for ways to use his engineering knowledge to create meaningful projects. Despite his many achievements, Malik faced even greater challenges. One day, his mother, Angela, fell seriously ill. Years of hard work had taken a toll on her body, and she could no longer endure the strain. Malik found himself juggling his studies and caring for his mother. When David learned of the situation, he quickly arranged for Angela to receive treatment at one of the best hospitals. However, Malik felt the weight of pressure mounting. He didn't want to rely too much on David's help. One evening, Malik sat by his mother's bedside, holding her hand tightly. "Mom, I promise I'll do my best to make you proud. Please focus on resting and getting better," he whispered. In the days that followed, Malik spent most of his time studying in the library. He knew that to change his life, he needed to overcome every obstacle in his path. Sleepless nights and pressure from all sides wore him down. But Malik never gave up. One day, he received a letter from school. It announced that he had been selected to compete in a national science competition, a major opportunity to showcase his talent. Malik felt both excitement and anxiety. He knew this was a pivotal moment but also a daunting challenge. With determination and the support of David, his mother, and his new friends, he prepared to face whatever lay ahead. The national science competition was a major event, with hundreds of participants from prestigious schools across the country. Malik, with his innovative project on affordable water filters, quickly became one of the standout contestants. His project was not only technical but also humanitarian, something the judges particularly appreciated. In the days leading up to the competition, Malik worked tirelessly. He often stayed late in the school's laboratory, meticulously checking every detail of the device he had created. Despite the long hours, he didn't feel tired because his heart was driven by a deep passion and the desire to bring positive change to the community. On the day of the competition, Malik stepped onto the stage with the confidence he had built over months of preparation. He presented his project with clarity and enthusiasm, explaining how his water filter could function effectively at the lowest possible cost. He also shared his personal story about the impoverished neighborhood he came from, where people often faced a lack of clean water. "I don't just want to create a product," Malik told the judges. "I want to create hope." As his presentation ended, the auditorium erupted into applause. Malik felt a wave of emotion wash over him. He knew he had given his best. A few hours later, the results were announced. Malik won first place, surpassing formidable opponents from top schools. His name was called on stage, and he walked up to accept the award amidst a standing ovation. It was a moment he would never forget, a milestone marking the beginning of something great. After his success in the competition, Malik's name began to gain recognition. Several nonprofit organizations reached out to him, expressing interest in collaborating to bring his water filter product to life. David Anderson, who had been closely following Malik's journey, felt proud and continued to support him in the next steps. However, not long after, a major crisis hit. David's company was involved in a large lawsuit, resulting in the loss of millions of dollars and severely damaging his reputation. News of the case spread across the media, and David faced intense pressure from the press. shareholders, and even his own employees. When Malik heard the news, he decided to visit David. In his mind, this was the moment he had to repay the man who had helped him. "I don't know what I can do, but I want you to know that I will always stand by you," Malik said to David during a meeting at the office. David, despite his heavy heart, was moved by Malik's sincerity. "You've already done more than I could ever imagine, Malik. Just seeing you succeed makes every effort I've made worth it." However, Malik didn't want to just stand by and watch. He began thinking of ways to help David. He used his newfound fame after the competition to draw public attention to David's company, emphasizing the charitable projects and initiatives that the company had contributed to. Over time, David gradually overcame the crisis thanks to his relentless efforts and the support of those around him, especially Malik. His company recovered, and David decided to shift his focus toward humanitarian and environmental projects. Meanwhile, Malik continued to pursue his dream. He received a full scholarship from a prestigious university in the field of engineering. There, he began to learn more deeply about technology and how to apply it in real-world situations. Malik didn't stop at water filters. He began developing new ideas, from affordable solar energy systems to educational devices for children in remote areas. Each project bore the strong imprint of his compassion and far-reaching vision. During his years in college, Malik became a prominent figure in the student community. Not only did he win numerous awards, but he also built an extensive network, including investors and nonprofit organizations. In his final year of college, Malik launched a special project, a combined clean water and solar energy system designed for use in impoverished villages around the world. The project not only gained media attention but also attracted significant investment from international organizations. A special event was organized to honor Malik. At the event, he stood before hundreds of people, from business leaders to young individuals seeking inspiration. He shared his story, from a poor boy who once helped a stranger change a tire, to a technology engineer with big dreams. "I never thought that one small act could change an entire life, but I've learned that kindness, no matter how small, has the power to spread everywhere," Malik said. After his speech, Malik received a standing ovation. David, sitting in the front row, couldn't hide his pride. He knew that, thanks to Malik, he had rediscovered the meaning of life. Malik not only changed his own life but also transformed the lives of others. He became a symbol of kindness and perseverance, a living testament to the fact that kindness can create unimaginable strength. After his tremendous success with projects and initiatives that brought positive change to the community, Malik decided to return to where it all began, the poor neighborhood he once called home. He didn't just want to reminisce about the past, but also to do something truly meaningful for the people there. He understood that everything he had achieved would have no meaning if he couldn't share the joy and success with those who had helped him grow. When Malik returned to the neighborhood, everything seemed the same: narrow streets, old buildings, and people still struggling to make a living. However, in their eyes, Malik saw a difference. They looked at him not with pity, but with admiration and expectation. Malik had become a symbol, a testament to the power of kindness and relentless effort. Malik decided to build a school and a small hospital in the neighborhood, places that would offer educational opportunities and healthcare to the poor residents. He knew this was the only way to help people like his mother, those who couldn't afford basic services. This was the gift he wanted to give to his community. On the first day, Malik organized a small ceremony, inviting everyone in the neighborhood to attend. People gathered around the yard, where construction was underway. He stood at the podium, looking at familiar faces, friends, neighbors, and the children he had once helped. "We can't change the past, but we can change the future," Malik said, his voice full of emotion. "We all deserve a chance to live a better life, and I want to help you all get that chance." The entire neighborhood erupted in applause. The people there knew that Malik had done what many only dreamed of. He had not only changed his own life, but had transformed the lives of hundreds of others. The day after the groundbreaking ceremony for the school and hospital project, Malik decided to visit the old friends he had grown up with. He hadn't forgotten the difficult years, the times they had played together, and the afternoons spent sitting on the old porch, talking about dreams. He wanted to see them, to prove that they too could change their lives, just as he had. Malik went to visit Jamal, a close childhood friend who had faced the challenges of the neighborhood alongside him. Jamal still lived in the small house, with an unstable job, but he always greeted Malik with a wide smile. "Malik, you wouldn't believe who I'm seeing," Jamal said, his eyes filled with surprise and joy. Malik sat down next to Jamal and asked about his current life. Jamal, though a little sad as he spoke about the difficulties he faced, also expressed happiness seeing Malik's success. "Honestly, you've done amazing things, Malik," Jamal said, his voice full of admiration. "You're an inspiration to all of us." Malik nodded quietly. He knew the path he had taken hadn't always been easy, and not everyone could achieve what he had. But Malik understood that it was his old friends, those who had grown up with him in poverty, who were the driving force behind his determination to never give up. "We can change everything, Jamal," Malik said. "We just need faith and the courage to dream." Jamal looked into Malik's eyes and smiled. "That's right. You've shown all of us that it's possible." David Anderson, who had become both a mentor and close friend to Malik, also never stopped evolving. After overcoming the financial and reputational crisis, he decided to dedicate much of his wealth to charitable projects and support humanitarian initiatives. What happened in his life wasn't just a recovery from failure, but a powerful shift in how he viewed life. David decided to pivot his entire company towards sustainable development and clean technology projects. He invested in initiatives aimed at helping impoverished nations, from renewable energy projects to clean water supply systems. However, the most important thing to him was the connection between people like Malik and organizations, creating a network of like-minded individuals working together to help society. "Malik is the reason I changed," David shared in an interview. "He opened a new door for me on how I can use my power to help the community." Despite being busy with his own projects, Malik maintained a close relationship with David. He often sought David's advice when facing challenges at work. David was not only a teacher but also Malik's true friend, always ready to offer wise counsel. In the end, after many years of effort, Malik fulfilled his dream, not only by helping the community in his neighborhood but also by providing opportunities to thousands of people around the world. His projects on clean energy, clean water, and education changed the lives of many. The initiatives Malik had started not only brought material benefits but also created a wave of positivity, compassion, and community responsibility. Malik never forgot his roots. He frequently returned to the neighborhood to work with local organizations, helping children and creating educational opportunities for those in need. He knew that only when the community developed could the future of the next generations be changed. One afternoon, at an awards ceremony for outstanding contributions to charity work, Malik stood on stage, receiving a prestigious award. Before him were thousands of people, their eyes filled with admiration and hope. "Thank you all for your constant support," Malik said, his voice full of emotion. "I believe that no matter where we start from, we can all make positive changes. Kindness and determination are the keys to building a better world." The auditorium erupted in applause. Malik was not just a model of success. He was a symbol of hope, resilience, and compassion. The light from his efforts not only illuminated his own life but also spread to everyone who believed in the power of change. And so, the story of Malik, the black boy who helped a billionaire change a tire, did not end with small acts but became a powerful symbol for those who dare to dream and change the world.